another former law clerk for Justice Clarence Thomas. John, always good to have you. Where is this going? The president can only do so much via executive order, but he's clearly trying to set up, maybe by trying to get the filibuster blown up, that a simple majority of senators can say, all right, Roe v. Wade is now enshrined in the law of the land. Easier said than done, because a couple of Democratic senators don't support that. But where do you see this going?
Good morning, Neil. I think you laid out the basic rules of the game now that the court has overruled Roe. What President Biden cannot change is the fundamental change in the course of direction by the Supreme Court, that this is now a matter for states and state legislatures. When he goes out there and says, vote, 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 what he should be saying is vote for your state legislators. Voting for these midterm elections, even if Democratic majorities are returned, can't change that much. The court has really changed the hard wiring of how abortion is going to be decided in this country. Now, what he can do are marginal things, like his executive order. You might have seen liberal groups are unhappy with that executive order because it doesn't really do that much. The only thing it might do is that it might try to push to make abortion pills available in states where abortion is banned. That could spark a lot of legal challenges that could well go to the Supreme Court. Trying to change the filibuster, I wish President Biden would stand up for institutions like the Supreme Court, like the independence of the judiciary, like the justices' privacy, being able to eat at Morton Steakhouse, and to protect the independence of the court, not by instead demanding that Congress try to overrule Dobbs and restore Roe versus Wade, which the Constitution, I believe, forbids Congress from doing anyway.
Yeah, to your point, you might not like a court's decision, but to take down the entire propriety of the court itself is another leap. But let me ask you, John, a little bit about what the president wants to do. You mentioned these so-called abortion pills, whether you can buy and order them over state lines, particularly if you're in a state where they're banning abortions. I mean, that could be a legal route for quite some time, right?
That's right, Neil. I think this is a clash that we haven't really seen before get to the court, which is suppose, as the FDA has held, the federal government says these pills are safe and effective, but suppose states, expect a number of states are going to ban the use of those pills. And so this is actually a question that comes up with a lot of products. And so when the federal government says something is safe, but states don't want to allow their use, I bet that this Supreme Court, given the way it ruled in Dobbs, is not going to allow the federal government to force those pills into states that have banned abortion. But I think it is a question, a new legal question that's going to, as you said, Neil, cause years of litigation, and I bet eventually have to be resolved by the Supreme Court, too.
You know, much has been said and written about how the court is really flexing its conservative muscle here, not surprising when 6 of the justices are of a conservative bent, but that this is going to maybe prompt, as your old boss Clarence Thomas had indicated, on some decisions involving, gay marriage, to a host of other issues going back to contraception and all that. Where do you see all of this going?
That's a good question, Neil. I think you are, as you said, seeing the emergence of a court under the leadership of Justice Thomas and Justice Alito, who are definitely much more conservative than Chief Justice Roberts. Chief Justice Roberts failed to build a consensus to preserve Roe this year. You might see that they are willing to re-examine. They're not saying they want to get rid of the right to gay marriage, get rid of the right to contraceptives, but they want to reduce the use of these older liberal precedents and see whether they fit in the text and history of the Constitution squarely, just like the right to, as the analysis they used in Dobbs.
Interesting. John, thank you very much coming in on a Saturday, my friend. Always appreciate it. John Yoo, a former Deputy Assistant Attorney General of the United States.